My job is to find out which is greater, 16 quarters or 8 halves. So I can put this back into the context of pizzas, because pizzas are delicious. So let's imagine Mr. Callow had 16 quarters of a pizza. Mr. Wooldridge had 8 halves of a pizza. Who ate the most pizza? Both very greedy, I'm sure you can agree. But let's see who had the most. Let's start with Mr. Callow, 16 quarters of a pizza. So here's one whole pizza, and denominator is 4, so it's cut into quarters. And he ate all 4 quarters. So far, Mr. Callow's had 4 quarters or 1 whole. But there are 12 more quarters to go. So here's another pizza cut into quarters. All of them are eaten. So far, 8 quarters are eaten, or 2 whole pizzas. But 8 quarters, we've still got a way to go. So let's have another pizza, cut that into quarters, eat all of them. And see now, right, we've had 12 quarters or 3 whole pizzas, but we haven't quite got the 16 pieces yet. So we're gonna have one more pizza. We're gonna cut that into quarters, eat all of them. So you can see right now, we've eaten 16 quarters of a pizza or 4 whole pizzas. So Mr. Callow had 4 whole pizzas. Let's check Mr. Wooldridge. So Mr. Wooldridge cut his pizzas into halves. He had 8 halves. Let's look at the first pizza, and let's cut it into half, and he ate both of those halves. So far, he's eaten 2 halves or 1 whole pizza. So then he has another one. He splits that into a half, and he eats them. So far, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4 halves or 2 whole pizzas. So he gets another one. He splits that into half. He eats both of those halves. So now he's had 6 halves or 1, 2, 3 whole pizzas, but 6 halves. He can still keep going. So he gets another pizza. He splits that into half. He eats both of those. So now he's eaten 8 halves or 4 whole pizzas. So both Mr. Callow and Mr. Wooldridge both ate 4 whole pizzas. So I find out that 16 quarters and 8 halves is exactly the same thing. Now I could do this really quickly and find a shortcut. So here are 2 other ways you could do that. Firstly, spot a pattern. I can see that 16 is double 8 and 4 is double 2. So if I half 16 and I half my 4, then I have 8 halves. So that I can see they're both exactly the same. Another way I can do this is see, right, the 4 goes into 16 4 times, or the 2 goes into 8 4 times, and that's a really quick way of turning an improper fraction into a mixed number or a whole number in this case.